most products out there are pretty good, but these ones have stood out in some way, shape, or form. And it comes down to 3 things that make these products superior to the rest and really stand out in Ro and I's mind. It either had a really elegant texture, was innovative in its ingredients and formulations, or just generally had a really elevated sensorial experience. And better if it was all of the above. So these are the ones that stood out from the rest and that we couldn't stop using all year. So we're gonna go through the entire routine, and Ro and I have picked 3 from each category because you gotta fight for your spot at the top. And if you're wondering why she isn't here, Ro is in the middle of pregnancy and she's also moving, so it is just me today. But she will be back when we do our collective favorites of hair care for the year. So if you're new here, welcome, and subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean the most to our team. And we're partnering with Style Korean for this video because this is where you can find all your favorite K-beauty items. Let's get started with cleansing. Ro hasn't really been cleansing her face. If you've seen our previous video, she's busy being pregnant and she sometimes just like skips it all together or uses some sort of micellar water. So she didn't have too much input in the cleansing, so these ones are mine. The Skin 104 Light Cleansing Oil has been my go-to the entire year. And this is the Pure Centella Asiatica line. I think the reason I kept going back to it is because it is really light. Like, it's not thick, and when you wash it away, it doesn't stick to your skin and make it greasy. I think that's my major thing with cleansing oils. It has to be easy to wash off. And on top of that, if you have sensitive skin, if you have redness, if your skin is easily agitated, Centella is the best ingredient to help soothe, right? So starting off in your cleansing step to break down the makeup, break down the grease, sunscreen, everything, get into the pores, and then wash away. I just feel like this did a really good job. And on top of that, it's very affordable, and I love this entire line. And the sensorial experience. This is not overly fragranced whatsoever. It doesn't even have a fragrant smell, but it has a very calming spa-like quality that actually makes me feel like I'm at a spa. Overall, I don't think you can go wrong with this. I think every skin type will enjoy it, and it passes the stinging eye test, which is very important. So next is the secret that I haven't shared with you guys, and it's this. So you're like, girl, what are you doing with cleansing wipes? Hello? We all know the Dokdo toner, which is the most popular viral product, right? But I didn't even know about these. Yes, I use cleansing wipes, but these are not your average cleansing wipes. And let me tell you why. Because it's not rough, it's not fragrance, it's so soft, and it feels like a toner pad. These are the Dokdo Round Lab tissues. And I forgot how I even stumbled across it, but I finished this pack. I finished another pack, and then this is my 3rd one. So I'm here to put these on the map and reinvent our thoughts about tissues. So this, I wouldn't say is even a makeup wipe. How I use it, I'll take one of these tissues out and then just like wipe my face gently all over and kind of just redo my skincare, like either put a spray toner on, and it instantly refreshes my face. And the crazy thing is, it doesn't feel like it's cleansing. It actually feels like it's hydrating and nourishing, and the tissue itself is so soft. It's unscented. It feels like you're just toning your face. If you have any makeup on, like if you go to the gym throughout the day or you just need a fresh start, these guys were like perfection. So it's got panthenol, it's got hyaluronic acid, deep sea water, which is very soothing to the skin, and it's got a little bit of the micelles. So that just attracts oil, it attracts dirt, and anything that's like lying on the surface of your skin. So if you're on the go, I would highly recommend you like add one of these in your bag. And then the 3rd one is something I discovered midway through the year, and it was actually suggested by our own team member. This was her favorite cleanser, and it's the Anua Heartleaf Succinic Moisture cleansing foam. So when you emulsify it, it's very silky on the skin, and I really enjoyed that. And then in terms of the ingredient formulation, I feel like that's why I kept going back to this one as well, because not only does it have Heartleaf, which is also known as Hortunia cordata, which is like the cousin of Centella asiatica. They do very similar things to like reduce redness, to help calm your skin, any sort of inflammation. It just brings it all down to like a balanced level. But I think it was really the succinic acid that caught my eye, because succinic acid also mildly helps with breakouts and inflammation that has to do with like acne, but all the while being really healing for the skin. And it was another thing that I just kept going back to after she introduced it. So I was like, oh my god, this is great. And it has a very like unique leafy kind of smell. You can tell with the theme of things, I like subtle scents and I like to feel calm when I'm using my skincare routine. So that is cleansing. I do have another cleanser that I do love, but it's Japanese. So can you guess which one it is? Let me know in the comments. Then I'll know if you've been watching diligently our videos. Okay, moving on to our second step. Did I hear toner? Yes, my favorite step. I would say Ro really loves serums. I really love toners. I am the toner gal. I'm all about toner sandwich. Like you gotta pat, layer it on, because the hydration, guys, the hydration. And I only have two. So really, we're really talking about the only ones that I've been using all year and discovered. Let me talk about toner pads. So this is a highly competitive spot for me. And I was thinking, you know, I do love a lot of toner pads. I love the House of Her one that we discovered this year. I love the Medicube Zero Pore pads, and they still have a very special place in my heart. I also rotate between toner pads because you gotta give love to all your babies. But I was like, no, Phil, you gotta pick one. As I was looking through my stash of toner pads, I was like, you know what? This is still the ultimate favorite. And it's the Skinfood one. So not specifically this one, but the Skinfood Carotene pads. This is the water parsley clear pad. And the reason why I have this one and I'm using this one is because I finished many of the carrot ones. I just didn't get it again because I had this one. Now what makes this superior to all other pads is the pad itself. Rip one sheet in half. Go like that with one sheet. And on top of that, it is soft enough where you can peel it and break it apart into like different pieces to fit and mold it onto your face. These ones create the perfect shape for under the chin, over the nose, and then the rest goes here. So two pads are enough for a full DIY face. And then the formula, the ingredients, every time I use it, my itchiness goes away. My skin is instantly brightened and evened. Like you can tell when your skin is hydrated because it's instantly bright. Even when my skin went through a rash or atopic dermatitis, or it was just really aggravated, and that's when you know something is really good, especially for you girls with sensitive skin as well. Then the next one is this guy, the Haru Haru Black Rice Probiotics Barrier Essence. It says AKA makgeolli, which is rice wine. This is fermented black rice in a milk formula. And why this one is phenomenal, like it's legit life-changing, is because milky toners these days come out and they're still like watery. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like I'm thinking the Tear Milky Toner, it's gone viral. Personally, I think that one is just okay. It's like one of the okay toners that I was talking about at the beginning. This is so unique that it sits in between a toner and a serum. It's more dense than your normal toner, but it's thinner than a thick like serum. As soon as I put this onto my skin, it's like cushiony, it's plush, it's not oily, but it just makes your skin feel so wrapped in a veil of nourishment and hydration in the best way possible, and no other toner in this category has been able to do that. I was talking about that black rice Haru Haru toner Like back when no one even knew what Haru Haru was, right? And I'm so happy to see that they finally like are going popping off viral because it deserves so much recognition. And the black rice is what Haru Haru is known for. It is their creme de la creme. The sensorial experience is really in the texture. It doesn't smell like anything. It's just so gentle, and I feel like those of you with combination skin, with dehydrated skin, with dry skin, with oily skin, everyone will enjoy this. Can you tell? I'm very excited about these. I asked Ro about her toner and she's more of a serum gal. So let's move on to serums, including some of the ones that she has. So serums are the life of the party, because they're packed with all the active ingredients. They can transform your skin. So for Ro, can you guys guess which ingredient she loves most? Yes, it's vitamin C. Okay, so she has loved the Dr.Althea Vita C Serum. So for this one, it's in a really cute bottle as well. And Dr.Althea has been one of those brands that we started like dabbling in more of because of the lip balm that we both loved. So she was using the vitamin C and she loves it because it's a really beautiful and light consistency, but still nourishes your skin because she has dry skin, and it's hydrating and it evens out her complexion. And she uses it to help with even managing the freckling to keep that light and bright and from developing too much. On top of that, for the sensorial experience for vitamin C,
when it comes to vitamin C, some can definitely smell like a hot dog or like very savory. It's not that it'll make me gag, but it's like close. This does not smell like anything.
So it's just very easy to use and very easy for her to skin cycle, even within her pregnancy. Because for pregnant ladies, you can't really use a lot of BHAs or retinols and things. So to brighten and even your skin, it really is heavily dependent on vitamin C. And that's the one that she's been using. Like, I think I've just literally only heard her talk about it all year. Next one is something that it was like love at first sight again, like the Haru toner. As soon as I used it, I was like, oh my God, where has this been? And why is no one talking about this? I need to talk about it. And then I introduced it to Ro and she was like, holy moly, like what is this? It is the Tear Ceramic Milk Ampule. This guy was, you know, I don't even know why this hasn't gotten more raving reviews, but then I looked it up and apparently there are a lot of people who have tried it and they're like, this is the best thing ever.
Oh my goodness.
It literally gives you a moisturized glass skin. So just imagine if this one was a little bit thicker, it would become this. And because it's a little more nourishing and thicker, I actually use it as a moisturizer, a liquid moisturizer. So it just comes in this little pump bottle, but I can't even tell you, like as soon as it goes on your face, I think when I started using it, my skin was dehydrated, it was crackly. And as soon as it touches your skin, all of that disappears. It melts in and just evens everything. And then it feels so nice and somehow it's not greasy. I think I finished majority of the bottle. So it's actually this 3-in-1 triple cream formula where there's an oil base, there's an essence base, and then there's a vegan milk. Texture is just like this runny milk, but it's kind of like a glazed milk. It's like a thicker version of the Laneige cream skin. So that is our second pick. That is our joint pick. And then for me, like honestly, I feel a little bit embarrassed to keep talking about this because I just feel like I've been talking about it all year. It's the VT Cica Reti-A. This is Grand Active Retinoid as the active ingredient, and it gives you the benefits of vitamin A, but without any sort of irritation, redness. Like, so even a beginner, you can go into this and not feel like intimidated. That's the main thing. And then when I use it, every time my skin is just healed, it is evened. My pores are minimized because vitamin A can do that. So it's just literally giving the most. And then it's also helping with, you know, plumping fine lines because vitamin A is also a great anti-aging ingredient. So this is perfect. I've gone through multiple bottles of this and I use it in conjunction with the 100 because it just amplifies. So that's that. But if you don't want to get two different products, they this year came out with this, which is the love child of both of these. So yes, if you want both of these in one product, it's this guy. That is our serums. Moving on, we are making excellent headway. So moisturizer. Can you guys guess what Ro's moisturizer of choice is? I think we've been talking about this definitely for more than a year, right? So she's still using this, she's still gifting it, she's still just talking only about this moisturizer. So it's the Astura Atto Barrier 365. So this is very popular also in Korea. The Koreans love it. And the main thing about this is that a lot of people didn't like the reformulation. So I had to ask Ro, right? I was like, so what do you think about, you know, like there's a lot of comments saying that it's changed, it's not who it used to be, and it's not like great anymore. And I asked Ro and she's like, no, it still works the same for me. It's still really moisturizing, it's still really smooth, it's still really silky. There's still those little encapsulated beads of the ceramides, and it just melts into the skin beautifully for her dry skin. So I was reading a Reddit forum about it too, because I was like, what is it that people are annoyed about? And the main consensus is that the formula is like less hydrating, and some people think it's just like more of a veil that sits on top of the skin but is still moisturizing rather than it like instantly sinking in. Even for me, I use the original and I use this one and I think it's beautiful. There was one person who was saying like she bought it on Amazon and it was like more gel-like, it looked completely different and the beads were huge and like the beads didn't sink into the skin and she felt it. I don't know, like did she buy a fake one? Someone also mentioned, is it a fake one? So anyway, Style Korean obviously has the real one, so you can rest assured that whatever you're gonna get is the real Astura. You never know sometimes with Amazon, right? I hear that in the comment sections from a lot of you guys. Ro still loves it. And for those of you wondering, the Atto barrier, anytime you see Atto, it means, or it's signaling atopic dermatitis. So it's safe for people even with the most sensitive skin. My favorite moisturizer, it's this one. Another unsung hero that I haven't been able to talk about a lot on the channel. It's this Glucamune cream. So this is the line that came out like probably most recently. So when I first started using it, I really didn't think too much of it. Like look kind of how boring it looks. Like it looks completely different to all their other packaging, right? And then one day it was just sitting there and I needed a moisturizer, so I used it and I was like, what is this? So the texture is really unique. It reminds me of snail mucin, where it's kind of like stretchy, or the Mixun bean essence. It kind of is like that, but it then becomes this almost water bursting sensation where it just sinks into the skin, but it's not sticky in the least. It definitely feels different to snail mucin. The main ingredients in this one is the beta glucan, which gives you that long lasting moisturization and hydration, but it also has licorice root, which I really, really like because that's one of those ingredients that I always look for brightening my skin and evening out my skin. It works really well for like darker skin tones who face hyperpigmentation from breakouts or just like, you know, picking at your skin or any sort of scarring. And it's also got astragalus root. So all of these are actually really great kind of medicinal root ingredients that work just so well for me. And then this one, I feel was able to, it's like wound healing. So I was going through a lot of breakouts. I had cracked skin. It was like, you know, scratched and bleeding in some parts. There was an open wound of a pimple in other parts, and it was like dehydrated in other parts. This one completely like healed everything. So you can kind of see the theme of the year, which is I just want simple ingredients that work, and that is this. Sunscreen. This is honestly where K-Beauty really pops off. They have changed the game forever. So starting with the one that Ro and I both love, I introduced her to this one last year, so we're still using it, is the No. Sin Waterfall Calming Water Sunscreen. Formulation of this is still chef's kiss. It is fluid, it sinks into the skin, it's able to slightly cool down the temperature of your skin, so if you're in hot and humid areas, something like this really works. It sits beautifully under makeup. Literally, what I'm saying about this one applies to every other sunscreen I'm gonna talk about, but they're just slightly different. It's got this like kind of milky situation going on, and it doesn't smell like anything. It's just beautiful, right? So that's the one that we both love. Next one is the Anua. This is the Heartleaf Silky Moisture Sun Cream. This is also beautiful, very lightweight. I honestly use this just as a moisturizer and a sunscreen, everything all in one. In the summers, when it gets colder, it just keeps working so well. And my makeup sits beautifully on top as like a base. It's got no fragrance, and it really helps with any sort of redness or irritation because of the Hortunia Cordata, which is Heartleaf. It's just got more of like a super light cream finish. So these two leave very similar finishes. It's just a natural kind of like glow, but it's not glossy. It looks better as it wears throughout the day. I don't know how that works, but yes, these two are great. And then we have the Beauty of Joseon new one is the Aqua-fresh Rice plus B5. This one instantly became a fave, especially for me because the original Rice and Probiotics one is just way too glowy for me. It's like not made for oily girls. And on top of that, I don't know if you guys have noticed, even though that is a viral, it's very well loved, the original one, like when you blend it in, is a tiny bit white. It's got a little bit of the Tinasorb M filter in there, which gives it that halo glow effect, that veil, and then it disappears. This one, completely nothing. It's like water on your face. And if anything, this dries down and settles into the skin a little bit more skin-like. So I would highly recommend this one for those of you who want an even lighter weight. And then the last one is the Isntree Onion Fluid. That is probably the most fluid. It's like it just runs down, instantly absorbed into your skin, feels like nothing. If you truly want a really light sunscreen, I would say that one. I love it to death. It just works so well, especially in hot climates. So it looks like I drank 8 cups of water, I've got like 15 hours sleep, and I have no stress in my life. Like all of these sunscreens just give me and my skin that effect. So those are still our SPFs of choice. For Ro, because she's pregnant, she's been using the Tatra, so she talked about that in just the last video. So if you're curious, that's the only one she's been using, and that is a physical one, but it's not Korean. That's why it's not in this video. Last and most exciting, I think, is the mask. Like this year has been the year of masks. If you've been under a rock or you just haven't consumed social media, good for you. That is the way it should be. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that this is a job, I probably would be like that as well. But it was the year of Hydrogel mask, aka the Biodance really popped off, right? And Biodance is indeed one of the favorites. But after the virality of Biodance, I discovered my obsession has been all of these. It is the VT ones because they are also hydrogels, but it includes the formulation technology of the VT Reedle as well. And it's just so good. And on top of that, you only need to use it for 40 to 45 minutes instead of 3 to 4 hours plus, like the Biodance. Not saying that the Biodance isn't good, it's just, if you don't want to use a Biodance, there are other great ones, and I would look into these. If you haven't used Hydrogel mask yet, you're really missing out. And it's a 2-piece, and how it works is that the hydrogel itself has absorbed all the serum, and so when you put it on and it starts to melt into your skin, that is when the mask itself will become invisible and you can peel it off. So that's how the Biodance works, that's how these VT Reedle ones work. I don't really have a favorite, I love all of them. I would say the blue one, They're all empty because I've like finished multiple packs. This one is really lightweight. So you start off by putting the Reedle serum on, and then you put the mask on, leave it on for 40 minutes, take it off and just pat it in. You won't get that like super wet effect like a traditional mask, but that's because it's all already being pushed and absorbed into your skin.
You can see this one is blue, but this part is like basically transparent. And I'm just gonna take it off now.
And then you follow it up with something like this. Holy moly. This one's the brightening one. This is the Cica one, and it's actually got like, they've extracted the Cica DNA, so it's like soothing on crack. It's like Cica on crack. And then this one is the collagen one. So there's a hydrogel, like please get the hydrogel mask. There's also the Medicube one, which we love as well, the PDRN. That one is different because it's the only one that actually uses the salmon DNA. Then if you're looking for traditional masks, like not the hydrogel, the numbers in ones are the best, and these are approved by both Ro and I. We did a video all like trying masks every day for 1 month, and these were the ones it boiled down to that were the best in the numbers in range. We both love this to death. It's probably the best one of the entire range. You don't know what we're talking about until you buy it for yourself and put it on your face. It is smooth, it's silky, the essence is superior, it is evening, your hydration is long lasting, and the sheet itself is so smooth and there's no flappy bits. Like they somehow have engineered the mask itself and the serum to just like adhere so smoothly to your skin that it's crazy. The essence, so good. She loves the 3. I would recommend this more for people with dry skin or dehydrated skin because for me, it was a little bit oily. It's called the Tingle Pore Softening Sheet Mask. The tingle is so subtle that it's almost like it wasn't really there for me. I didn't notice it, but yes, that one. And then this is the one that is also really popular in the general skincare world because of the brightening effects. It's got vitamin C, it's got glutathione. So it's got the heavy hitting brightening ingredients without any sort of irritation, because you know me and my skin gets irritated from vitamin C very easily. I did not feel that whatsoever. It's like backed by ingredients that we know have been studied really well and that work. So the numbers in ones are the best of the traditional masks. I don't think outside of what I just mentioned, I'll ever really like be excited about Shima. I don't know, maybe. We'll see what 2025 brings. And then for a mud mask, the best is still this one. Beauty of Joseon Red Bean Refreshing Pore Mask. Nothing still has been able to top this. It's softening, it's brightening, and it's a soft clay mask. It's not drying, and as soon as I wash it off, Ro and I were always like, whoa, whoa.
Every time I use this guy, I wash it off and I feel like my face is brightened and evened, and then my pores just look better. Like they're less visible. This just maintains your skin throughout the week, and I love it. Love it.
Countless jars of this have been finished. I've been talking about this for more than a year. And why I picked this over the Rice Glow Mask, I love that one as well, but they're just very different. That one is more actually moisturizing. It's really, really softening and moisturizing for the skin. But this is what I want a mask to do. And then to end it is the Medicube Collagen Wrapping Night Mask. So that one is this clear, transparent collagen mask that you put it on. You have to put on a decent layer, but you have to wait for it to dry. So for some people that will put them off, you know, if you're already struggling to do a mask and then needing to like dry, it honestly doesn't take long. I would suggest buying a handheld fan just to like make it a moment. But when it dries, you can touch it and you can go to sleep in it, which is very different to the Biodance. Biodance haunted me and Ro when we were sleeping, but this wrapping mask completely dries, and in the morning, you're like fine. So it doesn't interfere with your sleep, but when you rip it off, oh my God, you're like, you know those butterflies that come out of a cocoon? Like literally, your skin is as like flexible and malleable and just like poreless as anything. It's insane. And how it works is that it protects your skincare from evaporating overnight or being rubbed off on your pillow because it creates like a film over it, but you can still move your face. It's actually very comfortable. So if you think about it, everything is really like staying in your skin, which explains why your skin is so baby-like. It's like a baby's butt. Those are our masks. Masks have honestly like changed our lives this year, and I think if you haven't gotten on that train yet, you gotta get on it. So guys, that is the roundup of K-Beauty Best of 2024. I am so confident that you will enjoy any and all of these products. That's not to say that you have to go buy everything, but if you are in need of restocking some of your current products, definitely try these out. We stand by them 1000% and more. And I'm actually curious what your 2024 discoveries and favorites are. Please share them below. Oh, and I created a special bundle with the toner pads, ceramic ampule, and Glucamune Moisturizer because I need you all to experience this with me. So check the description for the details and stay glowing, my beauties. As we near the end of the year, I also want to thank you guys for being along the journey for another year. Some of you have been here since the very beginning, like Asian Beauty Secrets, when it wasn't even me. So I just really want to thank you guys for growing up with us. Can't wait to see what we will discover next year. And coming up will be our hair care picks, favorites of 2024. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you very soon. By the way, look at how cool my eyeshadow is. It's also K-Beauty. It is the Rum and palette. I just thought I had to share, even though there wasn't makeup here. I love it so much. It's like a party on the eyelids.